Ambuya Tendai may just so rest in peace, because she took care of me, and I was now staying with her, paying rentals of about 4 million at her house. And the reason why I got a place at her house, it was because she had difficult conditions. I think I'll just give you 5 of rules. She gave me 5 rules in order for me to stay at her house. My first rule was, I was supposed to water her garden at 2 a.m. Since in Glenview, in Harare, people are not allowed to water their gardens even during the day. In the evening, we're actually doing it against the council bylaws. So I would water the garden. And another rule is, after watering the garden, you were also supposed to buy the vegetables, because vegetables are not for free. So even after watering the gardens at 2 a.m., I was supposed to also what? I was also supposed to buy the vegetables. The second rule was, I was supposed to be at the house at 6 p.m. or at 18 hours. I was supposed to be at her. I was supposed to be at her house, because after 6 p.m. should lock a gate, and you're supposed to jump in order for you to get for me to get into my room. The other rule was, at 7 p.m., we're supposed to be doing prayers. She was Jehovah's Witness, so we'd do prayers at 7 p.m. And the fourth rule was, I was supposed to clean the toilets and the dining room. And the last rule was, Jerry, you're coming from the rural areas. I don't want you to bring any girlfriend, or you're supposed to bring any girl in this room which you're staying, or even at this house. So this was my life, and this is how I was staying with Ambuya Tendai. But from those 5 lessons, these were vital lessons in my life, and I'm still using some of the lessons up to now. The first rule was, I was supposed to be watering the garden at 2 a.m. Guess what? These 2 books I write books, I don't write books during the day, because during the day I'm occupied doing M&J business. But I write my books in the evening. I usually write my books from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. This was a lesson from Ambuya Tendai, and thanks to her. And she also taught me cleanliness. Even up to now, yes, I've got an assistant, yes, I've got cleaners, but when my office is dirty, I can clean my own office. I can also even clean my car. I can clean everything. Because why? It's Ambuya Tendai who gave me that vital lesson in life. And also, even right now as I'm speaking to you, Ambuya Tendai said to me, you cannot bring any girl at my house. And that was a vital lesson as well, because even up to now, I'm married for 12 years with my wife, Rutendo. And to tell you the truth, some people, they say, yes, not every man is a cheater. But I say to you, I think for the 12 years, I've never asked out any woman except for my wife, who I have lessons from what? From Ambuya Tendai. So these were lessons from someone who was just staying with me for only 3 months. But anyway, if you want to hear about the whole story, you can check my book. These are also vital lessons which I want young people to be disciplined. There are things which we are now normalizing in our society, which are not normal. And I believe that this organization is God-fearing. We're supposed to put God first. And remember, also Ambuya Tendai encouraged me to pray. So it meant that everything which I'm doing is God first. And I also believe that here at Higher Life, here, our youths, we are also saying God first. In whatever we are doing, Dr. Strive Masiwa became a billionaire because he's afraid of God. He respects God. So I encourage everyone to put God first. So coming back to my vending story, when I was doing airtime, I noticed that I had to switch business from airtime business, starting doing other businesses which were not airtime. Remember, airtime was a bit lucrative, but I say to myself, gloves are now off. There's no reason for me to shine. Remember, I was an introvert. At one point, I was actually fired from public speaking at Mariste Brothers. I think handling a mic was good as someone pointing a gun at me. But I tell you, just today, I've got 3 events I did an event in the morning, I'm doing this event, and also I've got an event in the evening. Public speaking. Who knew that Jerry was going to be paid? Because right now I'm not even charging to speak, but it all came from the vending. That's why I said the chartered vendor. I'm saying I got much of my experience from the streets. I got much of my experience speaking, liaising with people, engaging people, selling goods, making sure that even HR, I learned about human resources. My first employee was from the streets. I ended up actually employing 4 people as a vendor. But the first lesson which I want you to learn is, when you're doing entrepreneurship, when something is not working, whether if you're passionate about that thing or not, sometimes you have to move from what you're passionate about and do something which is making sense. I know that, yes, some people, they say you need to be in do a business which you like. That's good. But sometimes if that business which you like, let's say you like selling cars, your capital doesn't allow you to sell cars. It simply means for you to raise that capital, you sometimes have to do what you don't like. Like, I think sometimes what I encourage, the vital attribute or a trait of an entrepreneur is discipline. Discipline is actually doing what is supposed to be done, not doing what your body likes or what you actually say, I like to do this. But discipline is just doing something because it's supposed to be done. When it's in the morning, you need to jog, you need to get into the gym. Whether if you like to wake up or not, you're supposed to wake up. That's discipline, which I believe it's a vital trait for any entrepreneur. So when I switched from my airtime business, I started selling sweets, I started selling bananas, I started selling cigarettes, I started selling donuts, and blows were off. I was now doing vending full scale. I think at 8 a.m., I would have finished the whole brick. I think that was the time of Pacific. That was the time when Pacific was really a hot product and people were buying it because it was cheap. So when I was a vendor, I learned that if you switch business, sometimes you can actually grow your capital. I later started selling airtime again when I had capital of about 100 million Zimbabwean dollars, which was now enough for me to run my airtime business. Because I still remember that time around 2009 when also using hot recharge. Yes, I'm a fan of technology. Even up to now, our business is mostly centered on technology. Even our consultants, it's mostly centered on technology. But I say to myself, let me sell bananas in order for me to raise money. And at one point, I was also owning payphones. You know, those payphones, we used to have those big phones, your Motorola's, your Siemens would use them together with office phones and would have what was called a payphone, because most of the people didn't have cell phones. So I did a payphone business, which at one point was actually employing 4 people. At the age of 19, I was employing 4 people, and I was now doing airtime, doing my payphones, and also selling my cigarettes, selling my bananas. So I started off with little money. So remember, if it was 500,000 to buy an airtime card, and I started this business with 4.5 million, I just want to say to someone who is saying, I'm looking for capital to start a business. So for you to start a business, you need a good idea. You don't necessarily need capital. You don't necessarily capital in monetary terms, but your biggest capital investment, it's a good idea.